what I think is probably your favorite bank out there today as an investment, given what we've talked about on the show here before, Bank of America, and again, this has been really an impressive story to watch from a number of different angles. But I mean, I think that Brian Moynihan, CEO Brian Moynihan, has really done a tremendous job with the business, particularly given the situation that he stepped into, right? I mean, she did turn the conversation around here, and shareholders are certainly reaping the benefits of that today. And the quote that stood out to me on the call, because this really tells you what's on his mind, where he's thinking, is he said, and I quote: "The operating environment continues to require more operational excellence than ever before." So it really feels like they're focusing, not only on maintaining the culture of the business, but making sure that everything is in order and they're being as efficient and as effective as possible with what they have.
Yeah, they've really done a fantastic job over the past decade. I mean, over the past few years, especially, of just really prioritizing business efficiency, responsible lending, and it's really been reflected in their profitability. I like Bank of. You mentioned that they're probably my favorite, and you're right.
Yeah,
And it's because they're probably the best combination of profitability and safety and growth in the banking space at that kind of evaluation. They trade for a significantly lower price to book multiple than, say, a JP Morgan Chase. And
well,
I would put their operations not necessarily on equal footing, but pretty close at this point. Bank of America is also a much more even mix of investment banking and consumer banking, which I really like, because in times like this, it really helps kind of boost their revenue. And then in times when it's a really good consumer environment, they get to benefit from that as well. Um, just kind of running through some of the numbers that really stood out to me. Um, well, one, their charge off ratio declined from the second quarter to the third, which is definitely an encouraging sign.
hmm
Like JP Morgan Chase, they released some of their reserves instead of building their reserves, which is very encouraging. That means that
sure,
the impact of COVID isn't going to be quite what they thought it was going to be. Um, Revenue overall was down 11%, much better than a Wells Fargo or pure commercial banks. Interest income was down 17%, but on the same time, consumer loans were up 5% year over year, which is pretty impressive given the
yeah,
environment. Consumer deposits, if you've been following that at all, people have been socking away money like crazy, which generally happens around a recession.
yeah.
Um, so consumer deposits were up 21% year over year.
Wow,
Um, they had their second best investment banking quarter ever. This is where the investment banking kind of offset comes in. Um, Investment banking fee income was up 15% year over year. Just a really strong quarter on the investment side of the business. And like they earned more than enough to cover their dividend. They beat expectations, but I wouldn't judge any of these banks on just the bottom line number right now. You really have to look at what's going on. Like I said, their loan loss trends, what's going on in the investment banking business, whether their interest income is holding up okay or not, and growth. I mean, growing your loan portfolio, that's long tailed income. Deposit portfolio gives you more capital to lend. And even before the pandemic, out of the big four, Bank of America was putting up the best growth numbers
yeah,
consistently. And I mean, growing their loan portfolio by 4% when everyone else was at 1 or 2. They'd been doing like slowly outperforming for a little while. So I like Bank of America for that reason. I think they're going to continue to improve their efficiency, and this might even accelerate Moynihan's plans to do that. And I just see a very bright future for them. I see them; they're not quite at the J.P. Morgan Chase level, but I see them getting to equal footing before too long.